The baby monitor crackled at 2:17 in the morning, and I knew, before I even reached the nursery, that Heather wasn't coming home. Not tonight. Maybe not ever. I'm Nick Baldwin, 34 years old, high school English teacher in Brunswick, Maine. The kind of guy who quotes Shakespeare to teenagers who'd rather be on TikTok. My wife always said I was boring, predictable, safe. She had no idea how wrong she was. Little Emma, 6 months old, red-faced and screaming, needed changing. Again. I lifted her from the crib, her tiny fists batting at my chest, and carried her to the changing table. The room smelled like baby powder and broken promises. "Your mom's having a girls' weekend," I whispered, fastening the new diaper. "Left us here to bond, didn't she?" Emma gurgled, unimpressed. After getting her back to sleep, I collapsed on the couch with my phone. Stupid mistake. I should have just gone to bed. Instead, I opened Instagram. Heather's story popped up first. Of course it did. "Single for the weekend! Mommies need to rest too." Self-care, me time, living my best life. The video showed my wife, in a crowded bar, neon lights strobing across her face. She wore a red dress I'd never seen before. Some guy with slicked back hair had his hands on her waist. She turned, laughed into the camera, and then kissed him. Not a peck. A full, open-mouthed, tongue-exploring kiss that lasted 10 seconds. Her friends cheered in the background. I recognized Jade's voice, loud, obnoxious, encouraging. "Get it, girl." I watched it 3 times. Not because I couldn't believe it, because I needed to memorize every detail. My hands didn't shake, my heart didn't race. I just felt empty, like someone had scooped out my insides and replaced them with cold air. I opened our shared flight app. Her return ticket from Portland glowed on the screen. Sunday evening, 6:15 p.m. 1 tap, 2 taps, canceled. Then I blocked her credit cards, all 3 of them. Changed the locks on my phone, ordered new ones from Amazon, overnight delivery. Finally, I sent her a text. "Enjoy your weekend. Don't rush back." Then I turned off my phone and went to bed. I slept like a baby. Better than I had in months. Saturday morning arrived with weak November sunlight filtering through the curtains. Emma woke me at 6, hungry and squirming. I fed her, played with her, took her for a walk around the neighborhood. Ruth, our 70-year-old neighbor, waved from her porch. "Where's Heather?" she called. "Girls' weekend," I said, smiling. "You know how it is." Ruth's expression told me she'd already seen the video. Everyone in Brunswick had probably seen it by now. Small cities in Maine are like that. Gossip travels faster than bad weather. By noon, my phone had 37 missed calls from Heather, 42 text messages. I read them while Emma napped. The first few were confused. "Why'd you cancel my flight?" Then angry. "This isn't funny, Nick. I need to come home." Then desperate. "My cards aren't working. I'm stranded. Call me." Finally, threatening. "You're going to regret this." I poured myself coffee and called Coach Larry. He'd been my football coach in high school, now worked as the athletics director. Tough old bastard who'd taught me more about life than any classroom ever did. "Saw the video," he said before I could speak. "You okay?" "Peachy." "Bull? What are you gonna do?" "Not sure yet, but Larry, you remember those rumors about Heather? Before the baby?" Silence. Then, "Yeah, word was she got pretty wild at some of those fitness conventions. But Nick, rumors are just, I need a DNA test." More silence. Longer this time. "You sure you want to know?" "I'm sure." He gave me the name of a clinic in Portland. Discreet. Fast results. I drove there Monday morning with Emma, gave them a cheek swab from both of us, and paid in cash. The nurse, a kind woman with gray streaks in her hair, touched my arm. "Whatever the result, you're here taking care of that baby. That's what matters." I nodded, but we both knew that wasn't entirely true. Sunday evening, Heather's scheduled landing time came and went. She'd managed to book a new flight, probably borrowed money from one of her friends, and showed up at our door at 8:30 p.m. The key didn't work. I watched through the window as she tried it again, and again. Then she started pounding. "Nick! Open this door! Nick!" I opened it, stood in the doorway with Emma on my hip. Heather looked rough, makeup smeared, hair tangled, the red dress wrinkled, her eyes were wild. "What the hell is wrong with you?" she hissed. "Let me in." "No. No? This is my house. Actually, it's my house. My name on the deed, my mortgage payment, my furniture. You just lived here. You can't lock me out. I'll call the police." "Go ahead." I shifted Emma to my other hip. "Tell them how you abandoned your infant daughter to go screw some random guy in a bar. I'm sure they'll be very sympathetic." Her face went from red to white. "That video was we were just having fun. You're blowing this way out of proportion." "Am I?" "Because it looked pretty clear to me, and to the 3,000 people who viewed it, and to your sponsors, and to your business partners." "My sponsors?" Her voice cracked. "Yeah, I sent them all a link, with context. Thought they should know what kind of family values influencer they're supporting." I watched the realization hit her like a physical blow. She actually staggered backward. "You didn't." "I did. Now you can sleep in your car, or you can call one of your friends. I don't care, but you're not coming in here." "I want to see my daughter." Emma chose that moment to reach for me, burying her face in my neck. Even at 6 months old, babies know who shows up. "Get a lawyer," I said. "We'll work out visitation." I closed the door, locked it, walked away while she screamed and pounded. Ruth appeared on her porch, phone in hand. "Should I call the police, Nick?" "Please do. Tell them there's a disturbance." 2 officers arrived 15 minutes later. By then, several neighbors had gathered. Heather tried to explain, tried to play the victim, but she looked unhinged. I looked calm, rational, holding a sleeping baby. They asked me if I wanted to press charges for harassment. I declined, said we were just having marital difficulties and she needed to leave. They escorted her to her car. She left, tires squealing. I went inside and laughed until I cried. The DNA results arrived Wednesday. I opened the envelope in my classroom during lunch period, door locked, hands finally shaking. The alleged father is excluded as the biological father of the child. 0% probability. Emma wasn't mine. I sat there for 20 minutes, staring at those words. All the late nights, all the diaper changes, all the times I'd walked her around the house at 3 a.m., singing off-key lullabies. All the love I'd poured into this tiny person. None of it mattered. She wasn't mine, except she was. In every way that counted, except biology. But Heather had lied. For 9 months of pregnancy, through labor, through 6 months of pretending we were a family. She'd lied. My phone buzzed. Text from Miriam, the school secretary. "You need to see this." She'd forwarded a screenshot from Heather's private Facebook group. I didn't know how Miriam had access, but that woman knew everything about everyone in Brunswick. The post was from Jade. "Ladies, place your bets. Who's the real daddy? My money's on Miles from the gym." Below it, a dozen comments. Sierra. "I still think it's that guy from the Boston convention." Another woman. "Does Nick even know? Poor dumb bastard." Heather's response. "What he doesn't know won't hurt him, and Miles has money. Nick has a teacher's salary." I took a screenshot, then another. Then I scrolled through months of posts, screenshotting everything. The jokes about me, the casual cruelty, the discussions of her affairs, plural, with detailed descriptions I won't repeat. There was a whole conversation about how she'd trapped me with the pregnancy, how she'd planned it to secure financial stability while keeping Miles on the side for fun. Miriam called. "You okay, honey?" "I'm great," I said. And I meant it. Because now I had ammunition. Now I had proof. And now I had a plan. Miles Kerrigan owned 3 gyms in the Brunswick area. Successful guy, drove a Mercedes, wore expensive watches, I'd met him twice at Heather's work events. Both times he'd looked at me like I was something stuck to his shoe. Now I knew why. Thursday after school, I drove to his flagship location. Modern building, all glass and chrome, filled with people running on treadmills like hamsters. Miles stood near the front desk, talking to a young woman in yoga pants. His hand rested on her lower back, too low. I walked past, headed to the locker room, and waited. He came in 10 minutes later, alone. Caught sight of me and froze. "Nick, hey man, didn't know you were a member here." "I'm not." I stood up, walked toward him slowly. "But you're a member of my wife, aren't you?" His face went pale, then red. "I don't know what you're talking about." "Sure you don't? Emma's got your eyes, by the way. The DNA test confirmed it." That was a lie. I didn't know who the father was yet, but his reaction told me everything. His mouth opened, closed, opened again. "Listen, Nick, it's not... Heather and I, we just what? Just screwed around while I changed your daughter's diapers? Just laughed about what a sucker I was?" It wasn't like that. I stepped closer. Miles was bigger than me, but I'd played football. I knew how to use my body, how to make someone feel small. "Stay away from my family," I said quietly. "Stay away from Heather. Stay away from Emma. Because if I see you near them again, we're going to have a very different conversation. Understand?" He nodded, sweat beading on his forehead. I left, drove home, fed Emma, put her to bed. Then I sent an anonymous email to Miles's wife, attached the screenshots, attached the DNA results with Miles's name circled, attached photos I'd found on Heather's hidden Instagram account. Yes, she had one, showing her and Miles together at various hotels. Hit send. Then I made popcorn and waited. Miles's wife, Jennifer, was a lawyer. Corporate law, made good money. They had 2 kids, a nice house in the suburbs. She was also, I discovered, absolutely ruthless when betrayed. By Friday morning, Miles's car had been keyed. Not random scratches. Someone had carved "cheater" into the hood in letters 2 feet tall. By Friday afternoon, Jennifer had filed for divorce and posted a detailed Facebook status explaining exactly why. She tagged Miles, Heather, and both of their employers. By Friday evening, Heather was calling me nonstop. I finally answered. "What did you do?" she screamed. "Me? I didn't do anything. I just shared some information with someone who deserved to know the truth." "You told Jennifer? You told her?" "Actually, I sent her an anonymous email. But yeah, basically. Do you have any idea what you've done? Miles is threatening to sue me. His wife is going after everything. My sponsors are dropping me. My business partners want out." "Sounds rough." "This is your fault," I laughed. Actually laughed. "My fault? I'm not the one who cheated. I'm not the one who got pregnant with another man's baby. I'm not the one who posted a video making out with strangers while my husband took care of said baby. You did this, Heather. I'm just making sure everyone knows about it. You're destroying my life. No, I'm just not protecting you from the consequences of your choices anymore. There's a difference." She was crying now. "Please, Nick, please stop. I'll do anything." "Anything? Yes!" "Then tell me the truth. All of it. Every affair, every lie, everything." Silence. "That's what I thought," I said, and hung up. Sierra reached out to me Saturday morning. Heather's friend, the quiet one who always seemed uncomfortable during their wild nights out. She asked to meet for coffee. We sat in a corner booth at the local diner. She looked nervous, picking at her napkin. "I'm sorry," she said finally. "For all of it. I should have told you." "Told me what?" "Everything. About Miles, about the others, about the baby pool." "Baby pool?" She pulled out her phone, showed me screenshots from their private group chat. The one Miriam had accessed somehow. They'd literally bet on who Emma's father was. Actual money. Jade had organized it like some sick fantasy football league. "There were 4 possibilities," Sierra said quietly. Miles was the favorite. But there was also a guy named Tyler from Portland, someone named Rick from a conference in Boston, and one more. I don't remember his name. Jesus Christ. I know. It's disgusting. I told them it was wrong, but they just laughed. Said you were too stupid to ever figure it out. I felt something cold settle in my chest. Not anger, something worse, something calculating. Why are you telling me this now? Sierra met my eyes. Because I'm tired of being part of their games, and because Jade's been sleeping with my boyfriend for 3 months. I found out last week. Ah, there it was. She wasn't helping me out of guilt. She wanted revenge too. What do you need? I asked. Access to Jade's accounts. She's got dirt on everyone, photos, videos, messages. She uses it to control people, to get what she wants. I want it all exposed. And in exchange? Everything I know about Heather, every affair, every lie, every nasty thing she's ever said about you, all of it. We shook hands. Sierra delivered. Over the next week, she sent me hundreds of screenshots, dozens of videos, recorded phone calls. Heather's affairs went back 2 years, long before Emma, long before we'd even talked about having kids. She'd cheated with Miles, Tyler, Rick, and at least 6 other men. She'd laughed about it with her friends, complained that I was too clingy and too boring and too poor. There were messages discussing how to hide the affairs, how to manipulate me, how to secure her financial future while keeping her options open. One message, from 8 months ago. Nick's so desperate for a baby, he'll believe it's his no matter what. Easy. Another, from 6 months ago. If it's Miles's kid, I'll get child support from him and Nick. Double income. I saved everything. Organized it, made backup copies, sent copies to my lawyer, to Coach Larry, to Ruth next door. Then I started planning phase 2. Sierra, meanwhile, had hacked Jade's cloud storage. Turned out Jade had been documenting everything, every party, every hookup, every scandal, for years. She had dirt on dozens of people in Brunswick's social scene. What do you want to do with it? Sierra asked. Nothing yet, I said, but keep it ready. We're going to need it. Heather tried to come home again Tuesday night, this time with a locksmith. I'd anticipated this, had cameras installed over the weekend, doorbell cam plus 3 others covering all entrances. I watched from my phone as she and the locksmith approached the door, called the police before they even started working on the lock. There's someone trying to break into my house, I said calmly. I have an active restraining order. I didn't yet, but the police didn't know that. They arrived in 4 minutes. Heather tried to explain, but I'd already emailed them copies of the DNA test, the divorce papers I'd filed that morning, and documentation that the house was solely in my name. The locksmith left. Heather was warned about trespassing. She stood on the sidewalk, screaming obscenities while neighbors filmed. More content for the internet. Ruth brought me cookies that night. You're handling this well, she said. Thanks, Ruth. That baby's lucky to have you. I looked down at Emma, asleep in my arms. I'm the lucky one. And I meant it. Whatever else was true, whatever happened next, I love this kid. Biology didn't matter. But Heather was going to pay for every lie, every betrayal, every casual cruelty. I was just getting started. My so-called friends started choosing sides around mid-November. I'd known most of them since college, Dave, Brandon, Kyle, and their wives. We'd done game nights, barbecues, weekend trips to Portland. Heather had charmed them all. Dave called first. Hey man, heard about the separation? Yeah. Listen, Heather reached out. She's pretty upset. Says you locked her out, turned her into some kind of villain online. Did she mention the cheating? The lying about Emma's paternity? Pause. She said that was a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding. Yeah, she said the DNA test was wrong, and you're just looking for an excuse to... Dave, I've got screenshots of her planning the affairs. I've got messages where she jokes about trapping me. I've got video of her making out with her lover in a bar. What part of that is a misunderstanding? Another pause. Look, marriages are complicated. Maybe you guys just need counseling. Counseling, Right. Thanks for the advice. I hung up. Brandon texted. Heather says you're keeping Emma from her. That's not cool, man. Whatever's going on between you two, that baby needs her mother. I sent him the DNA results. He didn't respond. Kyle was the worst. He showed up at my house Thursday evening, didn't even call first, just pounded on the door while I was giving Emma a bath. I answered with her wrapped in a towel, annoyed. We need to talk, Kyle said, pushing past me into the house. Make yourself at home, I guess. I finished getting Emma into her pajamas while Kyle paced in the living room. When I came back out, he was red-faced and angry. What the hell, Nick? You're destroying Heather's life over one mistake? One mistake? Kyle, she cheated on me for 2 years. She got pregnant with another man's baby and lied about it. She abandoned Emma to go screw around in bars. That's not one mistake. That's a pattern of sociopathic behavior. She made some bad choices, but you're being vindictive. Canceling her credit cards, locking her out, sending evidence to her sponsors, that's not the Nick I know. Maybe you don't know me as well as you thought. Tara thinks you're having some kind of breakdown. Tara was Kyle's wife. Sweet woman, but completely under Heather's spell. Tara can think whatever she wants. Look, we're all going to Heather's place Saturday night, just to support her through this. You should come, work things out like adults. Heather's place? Yeah, she's renting a condo downtown. We're bringing food, just hanging out. I smiled. You know what? I'll think about it. Kyle relaxed. Good. That's good, man. This has all gotten out of hand. We can fix this. After he left, I called Sierra. They're having a party at Heather's Saturday night. Think you can get Jade to go? Definitely. She wouldn't miss a chance to trash talk you. Perfect. I need you to record everything, every conversation, every nasty comment. Can you do that? Already planned on it. Saturday night, I didn't go to the party. Instead, I stayed home with Emma, watched a movie, and waited for Sierra's updates. They came in steadily. 7:15 p.m. They're all here. Heather's playing the victim hard, crying about how cruel you are. 7:43. Dave's wife just said you were always controlling. Heather's agreeing. Lots of nodding. 8:02 p.m. Jade just told everyone about how she helped Heather meet Miles. Said you were too boring for someone like her. Everyone's laughing. 8:34 p.m. Kyle's wife says you're probably not even Emma's real father. Heather's not denying it, just shrugging. 8:56 p.m. They're planning to help Heather file for full custody. Dave knows a lawyer. They're going to claim you're unstable. 9:23 p.m. Recording everything. You're going to want to hear this. At 9:30, my doorbell rang. I checked the camera. Coach Larry. I let him in. He looked grim. Just left a very interesting party, he said. You were there? Brandon invited me. Thought I might talk some sense into you. He shook his head. Nick, those people aren't your friends. They spent 2 hours talking about what a loser you are, how Heather deserves better, how you're probably abusing her. I know. You know? Sierra's recording everything. Larry's expression shifted from concern to something like pride. You sneaky bastard. Learned from the best, coach. He sat down, accepted the beer I offered. What's your play? I'm going to let them dig their own graves. Then I'm going to bury them in it. Sunday morning, I received Sierra's recordings. 3 hours of audio, crystal clear. Heather crying. He won't even let me see my own daughter. He's turned into a monster. Dave. We should call CPS. Report him. Brandon. Has he been physical with you? Heather, hesitating. Not exactly, but he scares me, the way he looks at me now. Jade. Men are all the same. They act nice until you don't need them anymore, then they try to destroy you. Kyle's wife, Tara. My cousin's a family lawyer. She could probably get you full custody, especially if we all testify about Nick's behavior. More crying from Heather. More supportive murmurs. More planning. Then, around the 2-hour mark, Jade got drunk and honest. Honestly, though, you should have been more careful. I mean, sleeping with 4 different guys in 1 month? Of course you got pregnant. Laughter. And the baby pool was hilarious. I won $200 when Miles turned out to be the father. More laughter. Brandon. Wait, you guys actually bet on it? Heather. It was just a joke. Jade. A joke that made me $200. Sierra's voice, quiet. That's pretty messed up, guys. Jade. Oh, please. Nick was too stupid to figure it out. He deserves what he got. Heather. He's not stupid. He's just trusting. It made him easy to manipulate. Silence. Then uncomfortable laughter. Dave. That's kind of cold, Heather. Heather. What? I'm just being honest. Nick was a means to an end. Stability, a house, someone to help with the baby. But Miles is who I actually want. Kyle. So why'd you marry Nick? Heather. Because Miles was already married, and Nick was safe. He'd never leave, never cheat, never question me. Perfect setup. More silence. Even her supporters seemed uncomfortable now. Then Jade. Well, he's questioning you now. Heather. That's why we need to destroy his credibility. Make him look unstable. If he looks bad enough, I get Emma, I get child support, and I can still see Miles. I stopped the recording. Smiled. Perfect. Monday morning, I called my lawyer, played her the recordings. This is gold, she said. Absolute gold. She just admitted to fraud, manipulation, and conspiracy. We can destroy her custody case before it even starts. Not yet, I said. What? I want to confront them first. All of them. I want them to know what's coming. My lawyer sighed. Nick, that's not strategic. You should. I know what I should do. But this isn't about strategy anymore. It's about making them face what they've done. She was quiet for a moment. Okay, but be smart about it. Don't do anything that could be used against you. I won't. I spent Monday and Tuesday preparing, made copies of everything, screenshots, recordings, DNA tests, messages, organized it all into a presentation, burned it onto a USB drive. Then I sent a group text to Dave, Brandon, Kyle, and their wives. We need to talk. All of us. Wednesday, 7 p.m., my place. Come alone or don't come at all. Dave. What's this about? You'll see. Brandon. Is this necessary? Yes. Kyle. Fine, we'll be there. Wednesday at 6:30, I put Emma to bed early. Set up my laptop in the living room, connected it to the TV, queued up the files. At 7 p.m. exactly, they arrived. All 6 of them, Dave and his wife Monica, Brandon and his wife Lisa, Kyle and Tara. They looked nervous. Good. Thanks for coming, I said. Have a seat. They sat on the couch, chairs, looking uncomfortable. What's this about, Nick? Dave asked. This is about truth, I said. And consequences. I pressed play. The first video was Heather's Instagram story. The one that started everything. I let it play in full HD on my 60-inch TV. My wife kissing a stranger while her friends cheered. Monica shifted uncomfortably. Nick, we've seen this. It was a mistake, but... Wait, I said. Next came the screenshots from the private Facebook group. The jokes about me. The discussions of Heather's affairs. The baby pool with actual dollar amounts listed next to different men's names. Lisa gasped. Oh my God. Keep watching. More screenshots. Messages between Heather and Miles discussing how to hide their relationship. Photos of them together at hotels, time-stamped over the past 18 months. Brandon rubbed his face. Nick, man, I didn't know it was this bad. There's more. The DNA test results appeared on screen. I'd highlighted the key phrase, the alleged father is excluded as the biological father of the child. Emma isn't mine, I said quietly. Heather lied for 9 months. Let me think I was going to be a father. Let me fall in love with a baby that wasn't mine. And she did it deliberately as part of a plan to secure financial support while continuing her affair. Silence. Then I played Sierra's recordings from Saturday night. They listened to themselves, heard their own voices planning to destroy my reputation, to help Heather get custody, to paint me as unstable and possibly abusive. Heard Heather admit to manipulating me, to using me, to seeing me as nothing more than a means to an end. Heard Jade laugh about the baby pool, about how stupid I was. When it finished, nobody spoke. I let the silence stretch, let them sit in their guilt and shame. Finally, Dave said, "We didn't know she was lying about the DNA." "But you knew she cheated. You saw the video, and instead of supporting me, your friend of 15 years, you took her side. You came to my house and told me I was being vindictive, that I needed to work things out, that I was having a breakdown. We thought, you didn't think. You believed her lies because she's pretty and charming and knows how to play victim. You never even asked for my side of the story." Kyle stood up. "Okay, you've made your point. We screwed up. We should have listened to you. But showing us all this, throwing it in our faces, what's that supposed to accomplish?" "Accountability," I said. "You all participated in trying to destroy me. You all planned to help her take away a child I've been raising for 6 months. You all laughed at me behind my back. I want you to understand what you did." Tara was crying. "I'm sorry, Nick. I'm so sorry. Heather seemed so genuine, so hurt. I really thought, you thought wrong, and now you know the truth." Brandon stood up too. "So what now? You want us to apologize? Grovel? What?" "I want you to leave," I said. "And I want you to understand that we're not friends anymore. You made your choice. You chose her over me, lies over truth, gossip over loyalty. That's not something I can forgive." "Nick, come on," Dave said. "We made a mistake, but we've been friends for—" "Friends don't do what you did. Friends don't plot against each other. Friends don't believe lies without asking questions. You're not my friends. You're just people I used to know." Monica stood, pulling Dave up with her. "We really are sorry. I'm sure you are. Now." They left one by one. Lisa was openly sobbing. Brandon looked shell-shocked. Kyle paused at the door. "For what it's worth, I hope you and Emma will be okay." "We will be," I said. "Without you." After they left, I sat in the silence of my house, felt the weight of lost friendships, of betrayal, of everything that had happened. Then I checked on Emma. She was sleeping peacefully, tiny fists curled under her chin. I kissed her forehead. "It's just us now, kiddo, but that's enough." Thursday morning, I sent the recordings and screenshots to my lawyer. "File for full custody," I said. "Use everything. I want Heather to have supervised visitation at most." "This will destroy her custody case," my lawyer said. "She admitted to fraud and manipulation on tape. The judge will eviscerate her." "Good. Nick, are you sure? This is going to get ugly." "It's already ugly. I'm just making sure everyone sees it clearly." Friday, Heather was served with custody papers. She called me immediately, screaming, "You can't do this! You can't take my daughter!" "She's not your daughter. You said so yourself. She's a means to an end, remember? A way to get child support." "I didn't mean that. I was drunk, I was upset, You were honest, finally. And now everyone's going to hear it. Please, Nick, please don't do this. I'll do anything. You already said that, and then you went to your friends and plotted against me. So no, Heather, no more chances, no more lies. You're going to face what you've done." I hung up. The custody hearing was scheduled for early December. In the meantime, Heather was allowed supervised visitation twice a week at a family center. She showed up to the first one late, wearing sunglasses inside, clearly hungover, stayed for 20 minutes, mostly on her phone. Emma cried when Heather tried to hold her. The supervisor noted everything. Second visitation. Heather didn't show up at all. Called an hour later with some excuse about car trouble. Third visitation, she showed up with Miles. They were told he couldn't be present. Heather threw a fit, called me names in front of the staff. More notes for the report. My lawyer was gleeful. "She's self-destructing. This couldn't be going better if we'd planned it." But I wasn't done yet. Sierra sent me a message. Jade's getting nervous. She knows something's coming. Let her be nervous, I replied. Then I drafted an email. Attached every screenshot, every video, every recording from Jade's cloud storage that Sierra had accessed. Sent it to everyone in Jade's contact list. Her friends, her family, her employer, her boyfriend. Subject line, The Real Jade. The files showed her cheating on her boyfriend with multiple men. Showed her stealing from her employer. Showed her manipulating friends, spreading rumors, destroying relationships for fun. Showed her helping Heather plan the affairs, encouraging the lies, organizing the baby pool. By Saturday morning, Jade's life was in shambles. Her boyfriend had left. Her employer had fired her. Her friends had turned on her. Her social media was flooded with angry messages. She called me, crying. Why? Why would you do this? You called me stupid, I said. You laughed about how easy I was to manipulate. You helped Heather destroy my life. This is what consequences look like. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You're sorry you got caught. There's a difference. I hung up. Miles was next. His divorce was proceeding, his wife taking him for everything. But he still had his gyms, his Mercedes, his smug attitude. I couldn't touch his business directly, but I could make his life uncomfortable. I joined his gym, showed up every day, worked out where he could see me, never approached him, never spoke to him, just existed in his space. It drove him crazy. He complained to staff. They told him I was a paying member and hadn't done anything wrong. He tried to confront me in the parking lot. I just smiled, got in my car, drove away. He sent threatening messages. I forwarded them to my lawyer and to his wife's lawyer. More ammunition for Jennifer's divorce case. Finally, he cracked. Showed up at my house on a Tuesday night, pounding on the door. I didn't answer. Just called the police. There's a man threatening me at my home. I have a restraining order. I didn't, but they didn't verify. Police arrived. Found Miles drunk, aggressive, yelling threats. Arrested him for public intoxication and disorderly conduct. His mugshot made the local news. His gym's reputations took a hit. Memberships dropped. I sent Jennifer the news article with a note. Thought you'd want to see this. She sent back a smiley face emoji. The custody hearing arrived. Cold December morning, gray sky threatening snow. I wore a suit, brought binders of evidence, had Coach Larry and Ruth ready to testify as character witnesses. Heather showed up in jeans and a wrinkled blouse, no lawyer. Apparently, she'd fired 3 already, and no one else would take her case. The judge, a stern woman in her 60s, reviewed the evidence, listened to the recordings, read the messages, examined the DNA test. Then she looked at Heather. Ms. Baldwin, do you have anything to say? Heather tried. She cried, she apologized, she claimed she'd changed, she'd made mistakes, but loved her daughter. The judge wasn't impressed. You committed fraud. You manipulated your husband. You abandoned your infant daughter to engage in extramarital affairs. You've shown no genuine remorse, only self-pity. And according to these visitation reports, you've failed to prioritize your daughter, even when given the opportunity. Please, Your Honor, Mr. Baldwin, the judge turned to me. You're granted full legal and physical custody. Ms. Baldwin will have supervised visitation once per month, pending completion of parenting classes and substance abuse evaluation. Heather sobbed. No, please, you can't. This hearing is concluded. I walked out of that courtroom with my head high. Emma was mine. Legally, officially, completely mine. In the parking lot, Heather caught up to me. Mascara running, eyes wild. You've destroyed me, she said. Taken everything. Are you happy now? I looked at her. Really looked at her. Saw the woman I'd loved. The woman I'd married. The woman who'd betrayed me in every possible way. No, I said honestly. But I'm at peace, and that's enough. I drove home, fed Emma, played with her, put her to bed. Then I sat on the couch and finally let myself feel it all. The anger, the grief, the betrayal, the loss. I cried for an hour. And then I was done. January arrived with bitter cold and heavy snow. Emma turned 8 months old. She was crawling now, getting into everything, laughing at stupid faces I made. Life was almost normal, quiet, peaceful. But Heather wasn't done. She'd moved in with Miles after his divorce finalized. They were posting couple photos on social media, happy, in love, playing house. She'd started a new Instagram account, rebranding herself as someone who'd overcome adversity and found real love. Her posts were carefully curated. Her and Miles at fancy restaurants, on weekend trips, living their best life. No mention of Emma. No acknowledgement of the daughter she'd lost custody of. That should have been enough for me. I had Emma, I had full custody, I had peace. But it gnawed at me. The injustice of it. How she'd destroyed our family, lied to everyone, manipulated people, and now she was playing happy on social media like none of it mattered. Sierra messaged me. "You seeing this garbage?" "Yeah." Makes me sick. She's acting like she's the victim who found happiness despite everything. People believe what they want to believe. You gonna let her get away with it? I thought about it. Really thought about it. I could let it go, move on, focus on Emma and building a good life for us. Or I could make sure Heather faced one final consequence, one last reminder that actions have repercussions. I chose the latter. Heather's new Instagram account had 3,000 followers, mostly women, mostly interested in fitness and lifestyle content. She was rebuilding her brand slowly but steadily. Her posts were all about authenticity and finding yourself and not letting others define you. I created a fake account. Male, generic profile photo, believable backstory. Started following her, liking posts, leaving supportive comments. She followed me back within a week. I waited a month, kept engaging, kept being supportive. Then I sent her a DM. "Hey, love your content. I'm actually planning a wellness event in Portland next month. Would you be interested in being a speaker? We can pay $2,000 plus expenses." She responded immediately. "That sounds amazing. Tell me more." I spun a story about a weekend wellness conference, big venue, lots of attendees, great exposure. Sent her a fake website I'd built, professional looking, complete with photos from other events I'd stolen from Google. She bought it completely. We scheduled her appearance for February 15th. I sent her a contract, which she signed without reading carefully. The contract included a clause about full disclosure of any past controversies or legal issues. She didn't disclose anything. February 15th arrived. I'd rented a small conference room at a hotel in Portland, not for an event, but for what came next. Heather showed up with Miles, both dressed professionally. She was excited, nervous, ready to relaunch her career. I was waiting in the lobby. She saw me and froze. "Nick, what are you doing here?" "Surprise," I said. "There's no wellness event, Heather." Her face went from confused to angry to panicked in seconds. This was a setup?" "Yep." Miles stepped forward. "You need to leave. Now. Actually, you both need to come with me. I have something to show you." "We're not going anywhere with you," Heather said. I held up my phone. "Either you come with me to the conference room I rented, or I send this video to every single one of your new followers right now." "What video?" "The one Sierra took at your party, the unedited version, where you admit to fraud, manipulation, and using me as a means to an end. Your choice." They followed me to the conference room. Inside, I'd set up a laptop and projector. On the screen was a presentation titled, "The Truth About Heather Baldwin." "Sit down," I said. They sat. I pressed play. The presentation was everything. Every screenshot, every message, every recording, every photo. The affairs, the lies, the baby pool, the manipulation. All of it, organized chronologically, with dates and context. I'd even included testimonies from Sierra and others who'd witnessed Heather's behavior. The presentation lasted 45 minutes. Heather cried. Miles looked sick. When it ended, I said, I'm giving you both a choice. Option 1, I send this presentation to everyone. Your followers, your families, your employers, the media, everyone sees exactly who you are. You can't, Heather whispered. Please. Option 2, you both disappear from social media, delete your accounts, stop playing victim, stop pretending you're anything other than what you are, cheaters and liars. You leave Brunswick, you leave Maine, and you never contact me or Emma again unless it's through lawyers for your supervised visitation. That's insane, Miles said. You can't force us to leave town. I'm not forcing you. I'm giving you a choice. Leave voluntarily or stay and face the consequences when everyone sees this. Heather was sobbing now. Why? Why are you doing this? Haven't you punished me enough? Punished you? I stood up, walked toward her. Heather, I haven't punished you. I've just stopped protecting you from the truth. Every consequence you've faced has been the natural result of your own choices. I didn't make you cheat. I didn't make you lie. I didn't make you abandon your daughter. You did all of that. I made mistakes. No, mistakes are accidental. What you did was deliberate, calculated, cruel. And now you're trying to rebuild your life by pretending none of it happened. I'm just making sure you can't. Miles stood up. Come on, Heather. We don't have to listen to this. Yes, you do, I said, because if you walk out that door without agreeing to my terms, this presentation goes live in 5 minutes, and your new life, your fresh start, your happy couple routine, all of it disappears. They looked at each other. Some silent communication passed between them. Finally, Heather said, Fine, we'll leave. Delete our accounts. Whatever you want. Good. You have 24 hours. If I see either of you in Brunswick after that, if I see any new social media accounts, if you violate this agreement in any way, the presentation goes public. Understand? They nodded. Now get out. They left. Heather was still crying. Miles looked defeated. I stayed in the conference room for a long time, staring at the blank screen. It was done. Finally, completely done. They kept their word. By the next day, both their Instagram accounts were deleted. Within a week, their condo in Brunswick was listed for sale. I heard through Ruth that they'd moved to Boston. Miles had sold his gyms, taken a job at some corporate fitness chain. Heather was working retail. They'd faded into obscurity, exactly where they belonged. Sierra sent me a message. Did you really have that presentation ready to go public? Yes. Would you have actually done it? I thought about it. Probably not, but they didn't know that. She sent back a laughing emoji. Spring came early that year. By March, the snow had melted, and Brunswick was green again. Emma turned 10 months old. She was walking now, babbling constantly, getting into everything. I'd started dating again. Nothing serious, just coffee with a nice woman from the library, taking things slow. Coach Larry came over for dinner one night. We grilled burgers while Emma played in the yard. You did good, kid, he said. Not many people could have handled all that without losing themselves. I came close. But you didn't. You stayed focused on what mattered. That little girl. Everything else was just noise. I watched Emma chase a butterfly, laughing when it flew away. She saved me, you know. If it wasn't for her, I might have done something stupid. But I had to be better, for her. You were always better, Nick. You just didn't know it yet. We ate dinner on the porch as the sun set. Emma fell asleep in my lap, exhausted from playing. Ruth waved from next door. Beautiful evening. Sure is, I called back. And it was. Beautiful and peaceful and exactly what I needed. Heather's monthly supervised visitation happened at the family center. She showed up on time now, sober, trying to be a good mother for 1 hour per month. Emma didn't recognize her anymore, cried when Heather tried to hold her, reached for me instead. It broke Heather every time. I could see it in her eyes, the realization of what she'd lost, what she'd thrown away. I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. But then I'd remember the lies, the manipulation, the casual cruelty. I'd remember her laughing with her friends about how stupid I was. I'd remember her planning to take Emma away from me while continuing her affairs, and the sympathy would disappear. She'd made her choices. Now she lived with them. 1 year after that Instagram video, I was putting Emma to bed when my phone buzzed. Message from an unknown number. "This is Jennifer, Miles's ex-wife. Just wanted to thank you. The evidence you provided helped me get full custody of our kids and a very favorable divorce settlement. Miles is broke and miserable. Thought you'd want to know." I smiled, typed back, "Glad I could help." Another message. "Also, I heard he and Heather broke up. Turns out he was cheating on her too. Karma's a bastard." I laughed out loud. Emma stirred in her crib, and I quickly quieted down. "Sweet dreams, kiddo," I whispered. She made a soft sound, settled back into sleep. I walked downstairs, poured myself a drink, sat on the porch in the cool night air, thought about everything that had happened, everything I'd lost and everything I'd gained. My marriage was over, my friends were gone, my old life had burned to the ground, but I had Emma. I had my dignity. I had peace. And I had the satisfaction of knowing that everyone who'd wronged me had faced consequences, not because I'd destroyed them, but because I'd simply stopped protecting them from the truth of who they were. Heather had lost her daughter, her career, her reputation, her relationship. Miles had lost his wife, his kids, his business, his money. Jade had lost her job, her boyfriend, her friends. My ex-friends had lost their credibility and had to live with the guilt of what they'd done. And me, I'd lost everything too, but I'd rebuilt. Stronger, wiser, better. The underdog had bitten back, and the bite had been devastating. I raised my glass to the stars. "Weekend's over," I said to no one in particular. Then I went inside, locked the door, and went to bed. Tomorrow, Emma and I were going to the park. Maybe we'd get ice cream. Maybe we'd just play on the swings. It didn't matter. We had each other. We had time. We had a future. And that was more than enough.